Hello, I am Ninja, and this is Ninja Live, February 2024, the 10-year anniversary. Now, unlike a normal live, this one is going to be more like a Ninja News, because I'm going to announce a few things and talk about some other things, and there will not be any trans today. The most important announcement is that I'm going to take probably about a year off. I've been doing this for 10 years, I've made 1,000 files, and a couple of years ago, I already decided that after file 1000, I deserve a break. And I'm very sorry that, we're doing it this way. I was planning for this live to be very different than it is now, but things are as they are. I'm also stepping back more in general. I've come to realize that there are some things that I need to work on because I was not prepared for some of the challenges that popularity brought me. And I will take my time to do that because I would like to be a better person. So I haven't really scripted all of this, and one of the things I wanted to do is go over some of the achievements and some of the challenges. 10 years ago, or rather a little bit longer ago, I made a site called the Interactive Induction Scripts, and they were back in the days before audio streaming was very common, and it was a good way for people to experience hypnosis in a textual fashion. And because I wrote a couple of scripts and I saw people making content online that I thought could be better, I, as the silly nerd that I am, was like, well, why not? Why not make some of my own and see how that goes? And yeah, now I'm here. 10 years later, 216,000 subscribers, 40 million views. They are numbers that I cannot comprehend. It's insane. So, yeah, we're all nerds apparently. Originally, I was planning to do more of a positive stream with a couple of, maybe more than one trans. Before I forget, there is one file still going to be released. On February 8th, the coming Thursday, the actual 10-year anniversary of the channel, there will be one more file for you. Basically, file 1000 for you on YouTube. It'll make sense when you see it. I rarely give hints, but I think this one will matter. Or at least will be enjoyed for its weirdness. It counts as a special file. As some of you may know, I also run a site where both just the audio streams of the YouTube content is, but also more. And I've also looked at how much that has been consumed, and it was a bit more than I was expecting. It's about 5 million streams, 2 million downloads, 1.5 million interactive scripts, and over 5 million visuals viewed. Apparently, people really like to stare at spirals. And I've made over 1,100 files with over 297 hours of my voice, and that does not include the Q&A of the lives. I made a song, I think 4 years ago, called 12 Days of Ninja, and apparently I've made over 12 days of content of my voice. It's it's crazy. There's some really good positive things. I've improved the site, added more filters, full transcript summaries, intro pages to the visuals, which were very much needed. I've learned a lot to improve the safety of my work, my actions, my play with people. I've worked on all kinds of things, and I'm very happy with the joy that it's brought. I've had some absolutely humbling private messages about this, about what my work has done for people. I've had from as simple as people appreciating that there are interactive scripts because they're deaf, or that the site is easy to navigate for blind people, which I can assure you is not the case for most applications or websites. Like, people in the chat are also saying how useful the filters have been, because while I promote inclusivity in as much forms as I can, it's good for people to be able to filter away stuff that they don't want to see. On the nature of inclusivity, as some of you may have noticed, I am a mostly straight white male, and I've been incredibly lucky. I got randomly featured on some social media stuff that helped launch the channel further. And I've spent a lot of effort over the years to learn about my own privileges, about the benefits and the things that are different. I've done my best to make inclusive content, and I hope that's helped. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. It's been incredibly cool. It's been incredibly awesome, and it's also been incredibly challenging at times. Because even with the best of intentions, things don't always go right. And in that time, I've also made mistakes that I regret and that I need to learn from. I've made one or two things that I've had to change. Because, you don't always know what you do when you do it. You can have a really sweet intent and still fuck up. The community that apparently kind of coalesced around me has been very positive. And this is something, if possible, that I'd like you to carry out into the world. Please treat people with kindness and patience and understanding, especially if you disagree with them. If you see things that upset you, if you see things that worry you, take your time with your own emotions and be nice to the people in pain. Be nice to people that are hurting. I've been given some amazing opportunities, and I hope that on the whole, I made it very positive. I gave something to the world that is hopefully enjoyed for a while longer. And I will take the time to kind of get closer to myself. It's not a secret, really, that I'm a nerd. And I've talked before about having been bullied quite a lot in the past. I've underestimated how much that has affected some of my own behavior. And I need to work through that. I need to work on my own boundaries, on being more clear, and on my own self-worth. I'm confident in my abilities. I've worked very hard on them. I'm confident in my ability as a programmer and as a hypnotist. I'm confident in sharing positivity with the world as much as I can. And it is a lifetime job. It is a... You never really stop learning. It's important to question yourself. It's important to listen to others. Listen to the people that give you honest feedback. Listen to the people that help you up. It's okay for people to question you, to challenge you, to, complain or whatever, as long as they are people that help you up. Please be nice to yourself. And I'll do my best to do the same. The last thing I kind of want to mention is that over the years, I've built relationships that have lasted for almost the entire process of ninja hypnosis. And specifically to them, thank you. All the people that have supported me in small and big ways. Thank you so much. I wish I was in a slightly better space right now, because my original plan for this was, yay, 10 years, let's do something crazy and then turn off the lights for now. But the moment isn't right for that. Oh, and, as a general bit of advice, if you can find time to step away from social media and social network and stuff in general, take that time. And yes, I am not done creating. I think I checked recently, I think I have still over 600 suggestions remaining, many of which, 653, yes, many of which are not one suggestion, but are multiple ideas kind of grabbed together. I need a break. I need to step away, and I need to take the time for myself. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention, or last thing, I don't know. I was kind of annoyed when I saw several high-profile YouTubers mention in the past month that it's been 10 years or such, and they were going to step away. And I was like, this is unfair. I've decided this like years ago. A patron recently reminded me that I gave a hint about this in 2022. However, they do have a point. The media landscape is changing, and in my opinion, it's not for the better. Long-form content is being pushed away for ever-increasing, distracting clips of media without any ties to the creator. I know how to make shorts. I know how to run a TikTok channel. I know how to make looping videos. If you check my Twitter, I've made quite a few of them. And yet, I've looked at what they represent. And I cannot in good conscience make something that makes people more addicted to social media. So yeah, I don't know what the future will bring. I don't know where I'm, like, exactly when or how I will return. I'm going to plan in a better way of including a break for myself because I'm an idiot. A long time ago, I spent 4 years writing a chapter every day, and now I spend 10 years making 2 pieces of content every week. And of course, I worked ahead sometimes to give myself a break. But that meant that I had to stress out for 1 week to get 1 week off, or 2 weeks off. That's not sustainable. Don't do this to yourself. Don't repeat, like, my example, please. Take time for yourself. Because the more time you take for yourself, the more healthy you can be. Anyway, I will open the floor to some questions. Before I do, thank you everyone for your liking, commenting, subscribing, for your support financially and emotionally, for all your inspiration, for your crazy ideas and silly comments. Thank you. In that time, I've moved house. I bought a house that was quite a bit bigger than the last one. And I've been able to do this partially thanks to you. I've bought new equipment. I didn't used to have a fancy boom arm and like a standing desk to actually, feel more comfortable. I've done my best to use the gifts that you've given me as responsibly as possible. I might have bought an ice cream or two or spent some time in the Canadian Rockies, but most of it has helped so much. Thank you. Okay, now we can answer some questions. Algorithmic asks, was it chocolate chip ice cream? No, it was stroopwafel ice cream, which I can tell you is superior to chocolate chip. Jezebel asks, so what am I going to do with this huge collection of bunnies I've gathered? Train them to build a bunny cannon. Ace asks, what was for dinner? I got treated to some spare ribs and potato gratin. Baby Girl Jazzy asks, what year do you think was your best year? The one yet to come. Haley asks, and several other people ask, what was for dinner? I think I already answered that. Morning asks, why not a bunny trebuchet instead? Because we are living in the 30th century. 21st century. Sorry, the third millennium. I had a whole discussion about this yesterday. Oh, that's a very good question, Westlake Angel. No, Discord and Patreon are like, I have no plans of making them go away yet. And so the website, Patreon, Discord, they will all stay up. It is a community. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. And I also don't know what my presence there will be. And so the website will stay up. The server is more than just the Nimja Hypnosis site. Katrina asks, what is your favorite color, Nimja? Now, all say it with me. The clear blue of a winter sky. Spieler Fox asks, what was the favorite file you've ever made? So, until recently, the answer to that was the volatile vampire file. However, I kind of made a sequel to that, and it's also pretty good. MQ asks, what type of file is the 10th anniversary file? I'd say it's kind of wordy. And to be clear, I am taking a hiatus. I will return at some point in some way, but I have no idea how or when yet. The initial plan was for about a year, but I'm also keeping this open for myself. Morning asks, have you played Baldur's Gate 3? I have not. I have recently been busy with Turbo Overkill, which is surprisingly good. It's a retro FPS shooter. Tardigrade Lover asks, currently in the middle of a blizzard, so I must ask, what is your favorite way to keep warm? Blankets and cuddles? Bite Your Rhymes asks, what's some advice you have for a new YouTube test when starting a new channel, and what are some of the things that I should do? For anyone who wants to create content, I would recommend start small. Don't worry about earning any money or subscribers or anything like that. Make content that you want to make. The second thing is take it slow. For yourself as well. Don't promise one file a week. Just start with whatever is comfortable for you and have that. Slimmy Jim Jim asks, will you not be attending any munches? No, I'm going to step back from the community at large for that time. I'm not going to organize any events. I'm not going to attend any events. Baby Girl Jazzy asks, will this live be on your website as well? It will not, because it contains no transport. Marita asks, if you need comfort yourself, what words would be the ones that you need to hear? I don't know. That's a good question. Haley asks, will the PO box and general fan submissions stay open even if you don't post about them? Yes. The PO box isn't only for the Hypnosis site. It will stay open, and I will read my email, just not as often. Widow asks, which file pun names are you the most proud of? I think file 804 is probably one of my favorites because a lot of people missed it, as well as 808. Another one that is very obvious but is just a good pun is file 404. And now the people are looking it up because I know these. 804 is constrictor, and the numbers 804 make the word boa. And file 808 is the joy of hypnosis, and 808 stands for Bob. And if anyone is familiar with the joy of ... the name Bob should make a lot of sense. Also, file 800 is just adorable. Oh, that's a good question. Mastermind asks, will you reveal the purpose of the poll in your best files? I completely forgot to talk about that. I am so sorry. In December, I asked both my patrons and my YouTube subscribers to mark their favorite files, and also to tell me why it is their favorite files, to, give some context. I have read all your comments, and it was really sweet. The most popular file was not the file that I expected, because 1 second. There we go. The file with by far the most votes was Little Sleep Therapy. And I honestly did not see it coming. So the purpose of these was I used the website statistics and the votes to decide which files to remake. File 990 until 999 are all remakes or inspired by one or more files. So the titles or the concepts are usually clearly linked to a previously made file. The ones that are the hardest to link are probably Spying on the Crazy Scientist, which is a combination of Spying on Ninja Inc. and Volatile Vampire, where instead of a volatile vampire, it's a crazy scientist. And file 997, because file 997 is kind of a return to an original theme, the theme that I started with. So that's why I asked you guys to vote. Or you people. It's humbling to see it all unfold. It's crazy to be where I am. One of the things that has both helped and hindered me is I didn't realize the power that I had. I didn't realize that I was considered an influencer. Like, it was cute that people recognized me, but I didn't realize how much power and power exchange comes with that. There is another content creator who is, well, like I usually treat them as a set, but there's another content creator that is absolutely inspiring by the name of Sinister. Her and Hypnohedonista or Imaginatrix make really good content, and they do incredible workshops and incredible talks. And I look up to them because they are doing things in a way that I feel I never could, with an energy that I could never dare to imitate. They did a talk at a conference a couple of months ago, and I asked if I could write about it. And I was reacting out of pure nerdy enthusiasm, and they asked me to not write about it because it's something that is part of their lesson material. And this is completely reasonable. It's something like I had not thought about. I was just, being a nerdy, enthusiastic, knowledge person. And she said something that made me feel a very bizarre realization that I honestly did not see coming at all. And that's like, if I gave it away for free, that she couldn't stop me, but because I have a bigger reach. And I had never thought about this. And I obviously I have not. I respect their work immensely, and I would never want to infringe upon the very good educational material that they make. I never thought of myself as more important or more influential than anyone. And this is not always a good thing. When you get given power, it is necessary to learn responsibility for handling that. And that's definitely an area where I need a bit more time to work myself out. And this has nothing to do with capitalism, by the way. For me, hypnosis has never been my primary income. I work as a developer, and I've never been dependent on the support of my patrons. They are dependent on the education that they give. like they need to work and charge for their education, because otherwise they can't pay for what they need to live. I'm sorry about that tangent. Um, One more thing. I have not mentioned File 1000. Both File 1000 and the file yet to arrive on the 8th are a best of. File 1000 was made with the help of someone very dear to me that spent way more hours than I'm willing to admit on that particular adventure. And the file that's yet to come is the combination of some different kinds of work. So I hope you enjoy. And Cutie Funny asks, when will you make some decisions, like about the length of it or other information, and where will you communicate it? If I know how or when I will return to YouTube, obviously I am going to post it on the community tab. And the website itself, I will probably find some way of announcing it there as well. Funny fact, one way you can see that I had this planned, the live light already shows official time to be determined. The live page on the site, I programmed a couple of months ago the option to not have an upcoming live. Something that I had not thought about in my initial implementation of said feature. Bite Your Rhymes asks, will you still reply to comments? I don't know. Maybe not, maybe like once per longer time. And Annelie de Fer, sometime was not error handling. That was actually an intentional, like, sort of, I don't know, nerdy joke. Muse says, that had to be pretty emotional implementing that on the live section. Not really. This is more, you know, you're a nerd and, oh, hey, I forgot about this feature. How will I implement this feature without breaking everything else? Fortunately, my code is generally okay. Algorithmic asks, are you going to take up some new eccentric hobby to fill in all the free time you're going to have now? No. I am going to explicitly use it to work on myself. There are some pretty big challenges I have ahead. And I think it's important that I take the time for those. Spieler Fox asks, did you ever receive a request that made you uncomfortable? And how did you deal with that? Yes, I have received less than I would have expected, but more than I would have liked, of requests that veer on the range of things I don't want to deal with. And The simpler ones are people requesting various forms of racism or sexism, something that I am opposed to and will not make content for. Any kind of hate I will oppose. The other one is anything that is physically damaging. I have had requests for various actions or activities that would be physically dangerous, and that's also not something that I will make. The more difficult one is that I will also not make any medical content or therapeutic content, because I am not a therapist. I am not medically educated or qualified to be giving like medical advice or therapeutic advice. So as much as it pains me sometimes, because these are definitely not requests that made me uncomfortable, I like helping, sometimes a bit too much, but I don't want to help where my help would do more damage than good. I'm a recreational hypnotist. Links asks, are you going to any LARPs in the future? I have nothing planned. Twilight asks, do you think you'll work on any creative stuff? Undoubtedly. However, I also think I need like an actual break. Angelic Dirt asks, I've just started getting the hang of coding. Do you have any suggestions on how to improve and stay fresh? There is a website for code challenges. I forgot what the actual URL is. I think it's just called Coding Challenge or Lead Code. There's a bunch of websites with coding challenges that can be fun to challenge yourself with. Katrina asks, which do you think is portrayed more realistically in movies? Hypnosis or programming/hacking? No. Normally, I say an inclusive or, but most movies do not represent either well. All right. I did not have a plan for how long this was going to be. I've done my best to put all the important things in the beginning of the live. Again, I'd like to thank you all for your support, for your help, for your comments and engagement, which is the horrible word, with what I've made. I wish you all well. And if you notice anyone around you in pain, or if you notice anyone around you that's more quiet than usual, or maybe if you are in pain, ask or offer comfort. There's a lot going on in the world, and the only way to break a lot of the evil cycles, a lot of the ugly behavior, is not by fighting it, but by treating it with kindness and patience. Acceptance and inclusivity will bring us forward. I genuinely hope that all of you will find a place where you are accepted. That you have a place where you feel safe, where you can be yourself. Thank you all. Thank you for joining me on this crazy journey. These 10 years, so many files. Thank you. I will take my time, and I hope you will take yours. Oh, before I leave, there's one little Easter egg that I wanted to share. To do that, I need to step back for a little bit and remind some people about the shirt that I'm wearing. I'm sure some of you will remember. While not the celebration I was initially planning, it's still something that I think reflects some of the positivity that I've brought. Thank you. Thank you for being an amazing community. Thank you for being positive. I hope you'll find something that also helps you. This was Nimja Live.